Hello, hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here. Hello, Papa G, Bill Woods, Janet Taylor. Janet. Good to see you guys. Says we got 11 total on here, so only 4 of you is in the chat. I'm sure the other ones are just watching, enjoying. For all of you who looked at tonight's title of the show, it's an anniversary. 5 years ago today, I was listening to, I was listening to David Rodriguez, and I can't think of the other guy. I was listening to them, and they just came back from a big event, and they was all pumped up, and they said that they challenged people to start shows, and I did that day. I sent out to 12 people, and actually we had over 3,000 views in the first show. When I sent it, I said to God, if I just touch one person, hi, Russ. Hi, Maria. If I just touch one person, it's a success. If I can help one person, and I believe along the way we've helped a lot more. I did get a little bit of a scare because I was looking forward to tonight's show. 5 years doing these things. We've had some ups and downs. I thought we've done pretty good shows. Yes, we've lied just like all the other people, but we've done it in a respectful way that we let people know there's a good chance the things that we're sharing is not true. But see, hi, One Voice, Jeffrey. I believe I said hi to you already, Maria. But it's to me, it's a humbling night because I never thought we'd keep this thing going 5 years. And even though we're smaller now than what I was after 3 months before, we put together a group of people that want to be here, that love to be here, that look forward to being here. And we work together. We give people the right to freedom of speech as long as you don't hurt somebody. In here, we have moderators that are very good. We have people that used to come on regularly, but they're not coming on as much anymore. But they're still following as I talk to them. We do a lot of texting back and forth. One of my friends, Linda, she makes sure she sends me a message every day to make sure I'm taking my medicine. And we just turned into a loving family. But you didn't come here tonight to hear this. So I'm going to tell every one of the kids hi. As I was preparing for tonight's show last night, actually I was sitting watching the Hat speak, and I was going through some old emails in my Paycation 1954 account at Yahoo. And I went way back. And it's amazing. Some of the messages we used to get. It's amazing some of the people that we used to have with us that are no longer with us. And I don't know if it's because we lost a lot of people because a couple times we got kicked off. I thought we might do that tonight. I made the mistake the other night of playing that one video to let you see what the phones were going to look like. And I got a message that said the video was banned in one of the areas. They didn't say which one. I guess I made the statement that the video and the music I played was not mine. And the music I'm going to play tonight is not mine. I have no legal rights to it. Neither do you. We use it for entertainment purposes only. And this video is not meant for children. But I just went ahead and just deleted the whole video. Didn't have to mess with it. The people who wanted to see it would have already seen it. And the other ones, well, so be it. But for Jimmy and Patriot 11, Patriot Super Gymnast, I don't know why I went to her first. So I'm going to come back to her. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. And when I was saying I went through my messages last night, I went through, and a long time ago, I got a message from Haley, who is better known as our princess, but she sent me an email because I also call her our queen. And she thanked me for calling her our queen. And she thanked me and told me my grandma or my Mima or something, whatever she calls Jana. She says she really likes you. And the feelings are mutual from Ron and myself. We really like her too. But when you hear from the kids, I know when Michael sends me pictures of Patriot Little Leona and John sends me pictures of Boogie, Boogs, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. I know that they're not sending them, but that's okay. I have got messages from Karate Kid and that, and his brother, Wyatt Earp, where they wish me a Merry Christmas. And, and it's when you touch these kids that really make what we do here important. Because, see, I always say it's about the kids. And I challenge, we all watch and listen to what Wolverine has to say. And I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of Wolverine, but, he has information, and I was able to figure out finally how to join his site. And he does. He has some good information on there. You're not allowed to comment and things, but you can actually go in and post things. You can put a comment in there. But I mean, I've been following now for 2 or 3 days, and there's a couple questions I want to ask him. I'll get to that. I don't understand why people won't allow people to talk. You cannot make remarks here. You cannot post here. Why do they think they're better than us? Aren't we trying to make America and the world better? That we're all going to be for one and one for all. And boy, that's going to be a big subject of conversation tonight. I mean, if you ever wanted to see total donkeys, last night, all you had to do is look at that Democratic Party. And I'll get to that here briefly. But, super gymnast, I bragged about her now since last. Well, I brag about her all the time. I mean, she's my sweetheart. She walks in the house and she always walks up to me and gives me a hug. I walk in their house and she comes and gives me a hug. She always tells me she loves me. But she had so much fun doing that play. And not only the fun that she had, the enjoyment she brought others. I've had so many people in that area say, "You're Papa Ralph or you're Grandpa Ralph, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, Ella did so good." And it's funny, the part she played was a character out of the book, and I don't know what the book was, but she played a part, and her name was Fagin, Fagin. And in St. Louis, Missouri, I have a really, really good friend whose last name is Fagin. I haven't been talked to him recently. I plan on it, but he'll get a big kick out of that. Truthfully, I'm prejudiced, but I can actually see maybe not a job in being an actress as she gets older, but she finally found something she loved. Because see, so the gymnast here, she's really doing good. And what this play did to her, it gave her so much self-confidence. She now has 8th graders as her friends. She has 7th, 6th graders as her friends, and she's in the 5th. When you're in the 5th, it's like being a freshman in high school and being friends with the popular seniors. And she got so much confidence. On last Saturday when she had her gymnastics, her instructor took her aside and said, "Ella, this is the greatest you've done in gymnastics since you've been coming here." And her mom says, "Yeah." And the instructor said, "So is she going to renew for next year?" And my daughter said, "Yes, we're going to renew her tonight." And the instructor said, "Make sure you sign her up for Saturday morning so I can keep working with her." Because that's when this girl does. And it's things like that. But I really believe that she nailed it in gymnastics the other night because of the confidence that she got from this play. Now, I'm talking about her, but I'm talking to all the kids because if you all go out and you all do things, if you do this, you can exceed in anything. I was talking to my grandson, a Patriot 7 today, and he's playing basketball, and this week is his last game. And he was talking to me about some things, and he was explaining some things to me. And I said, I'd like to give you a practice. I'd like to coach you for one game. I wish they'd let me coach you the last game, and I'd show you some things. You know, these kids, the coach they had, when we played the other day, the team that we played, they had 2 men guys out there. And I'm not saying men or women, because I know women that know a lot more about basketball than men do. But these 2 guys are out there. And their team, they're teaching them, they're working with them on how to dribble the ball. They're working with them defensive stance. They're working with them how to pass the ball. They're working with them how to come to the ball when your teammate is in trouble. They're how to rebound, how to shoot. Our coach was sitting on the chair, bench, whatever you want to call it. It's called the bench area, but they was all chairs. And she's over there sitting there on her cell phone. She never once, when these kids were warming up before the game, she never once went out and said anything. If they do something in the game and they do it wrong, she never says anything about, hey, you need, you know. So I volunteered to coach the team next year. I don't know if they'll let me. But I told my grandson, I said, if I do coach you, it won't be like this year. You will play basketball. So that being said, I told him tonight, and I think you guys, Bill Woods, you know, you play basketball. Larry Smith, probably been a while, Bill. It's been there. Golden Arrow, you know, anyone who's ever played basketball. See, the thing of it is, if you take 1,000 shots, you can make 1,000 shots. The odds of you doing that is probably 1 in more trillions than Leon, than the Musk guy, Elon Musk, found that the IRS was stealing from us. The odds would probably be more than that. But you can make 1,000 shots out of 1,000 shots if you shoot the ball. You cannot make any shots at all if you don't shoot the ball. And my grandson looked at me and says, wow, Papa, that's right. I'm going to tell my friends that. Small Hank into karate. When Small Hank does his karate or martial arts, whatever you want to say, when he's down here at Ron's with me and Ron looked at him the other day and says, show me what you do. And he showed him every kick and the blocking and everything. And he did it, and he had fun doing it. And it wasn't pressure, because, see, certain parents, they got to put pressure on their kids. No, when you get a kid to enjoy what they're doing, and that's what we want to do here with Patriot 5 and Patriot 6. As we move forward, as we get the things we're looking for, as we do what we want to do, and we really, really, really start working with kids. You know, I'm really hoping to be able to get back in touch with Patriot 11, where when I get this ranch, I want this young man to come up in the summer and bring grandma and grandpa, and we'll put them in a house where they can live right there with him instead of living in their own house. We'll put him there because I want him to teach people how to ride horses. Now, you know, Small Hank, he's a great kid, and he's getting better and better. And yes, I am a prejudiced grandpa. But then you got the little monkey. I sit there 4.5 minutes today watching a video that the little monkey took a tablet and videoed herself talking, explaining how you can make ice cream out of anything. And she just keeps going, and she's going at 4.5 minutes. I was laughing. I felt like crying, because where does she come up with this? But she got mad at me because I bought a little stuffed animal for Patriot 7 last night to give it to him after the show, after his concert. It was a very, very good concert, and the best part about it, it was very short. But he did great, and I give it to him. And it was a little bunny rabbit, you know, about this tall, because the store I went to, that's about all they had. And I wanted to get him something because I got Ella, super gymnast, I got her flowers after her thing. He says, I want candy. I'm not getting you candy. If I get you candy, then I got to buy 4 other grandkids candy, and I'm not doing it. When they do something, I'll reward them. A couple of the boys goes, what's that, Liam? What's that, Liam? Oh, it's a stuffed toy. And they laughed a little bit at him. And tonight I looked at him, I said, you really didn't like it, did you? And he says, well, Papa, it was just the fact that they laughed at me. And I said, well, when they laughed at you, why didn't you look at him and say, what did your grandpa buy you? You was the only kid in 2 grades, third and fourth grade. You was the only kid that got a gift given to you for what you did up there. Do you don't think some of them kids would have liked to have the girls flowers, the guys something? It is what it is. And then you have little Kira that it's so cute because she loves candy. So you know what? Grandpa makes sure he keeps candy in the house for her. And we got a big dish in a cabinet. And whenever she sees me, she comes up, she takes me by the hand, and she walks me to that cabinet. And we get her some candy. Tonight I went and got a couple pieces because they weren't home. And as I got them, I was going to set them on their little chairs in the living room. And she got home before, and she looked at me and says, what's that, Grandpa? And I said, it's candy. She goes, chocolate? And I go, yeah. And she goes, I want some. And I give it to her. She got a big smile on her face. And I give the other piece to her mom, hoping that small Hank will get it. But whatever, I doubt it. There's a saying, there ain't a snowball chance in AT double toothpicks that she'll get it, but it is what it is. So let's do the other. For the kids, we love you all. I really and truthfully believe, especially after what I seen last night, I really truthfully believe you are the backbone of why we have to make America great again. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Things were gone. I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as long as God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt this is land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American where we are free. And now we'll get into the show. As I said, 5 years tonight. Actually, I did the show and I did a recorded version in the afternoon and sent it out. When I came on this journey, I did not think I would be doing it this long. The only foreign currency that we had was some dinar that we had bought much, much, much earlier, since me and Ron has been doing this since 2008. And there was no way 5 years ago this was ever going to last 5 years, but it has. And the journey has been bumpy. It's been up and down. It's been depressing. It's been happiness. It's been a lot of things. And, last night on Bruce's big call, he mentioned, the money that we're going to get from, our birth certificates. He mentioned, I believe that's part of the R&R money. He mentioned this new money from Doge. He mentioned the money we're going to get, Social Security, for the senior citizens and people who's getting this. They did come up with a solution from what I'm hearing, and this is all hearsay. I don't know it to be true or not. I haven't had a chance to check on it. But all of these people that, 100, whatever years old, one guy 360 years old, over 100 years older than our country, that have been getting this money has been going to dummy accounts in a place that's in war right now. And you know what side the bad people were supporting? Because the man who used to be in charge of us, he has a farm there, a ranch there, whatever you want to call it. And he also has nasty things under his land, if you understand what I mean. They have been doing this for so long, but now they're getting very, very scared because, see, it was just, they went into Fort Knox. And you need to listen to Restored Republic today, because I'm not going to go into it here because of what they said on there. I don't want to take a chance, but you should know a lot. But I do have one question. This doesn't deal with the gold or money or anything. Well, in a way, it kind of deals with money, and in a way, it kind of deals with gold. And in a way, it kind of deals with kids. But there's a guy who wears like a crown type, and he's always in white, and he's very, very sick. And they're saying he doesn't have long. Now, I've seen now in the last 3 days, each day I've seen that he lost his fight, and he's no longer with us. Have they announced that the Pope is gone? Because if they have, in my opinion, it would be like in The Wizard of Oz when the Wicked Witch was gone. And I think we ought to all get up and sing a song similar to that. And I have nothing against the Catholic faith. I have nothing against anything like that. I have things about a particular person who I don't like, but I'll be very nice. I've never rooted for anyone to die. I would never do that. And even in his situation, I would never do it. But I can promise you, I will smile the day I know it's official. I will not shed a tear. And for the people who are Catholic that thinks I'm an idiot and everything, wait till the news comes out. And then if you still want to call me an idiot, I'll even wear a t-shirt if you want me to. I'm an idiot. I don't care. But people need to wake up, guys. I don't know if we can do it. I know a lot of people are coming out now and saying, we can't wake them up. Quit crying. And Golden Eagle and John and Susie Q. By the way, hi to all of you. Jeffrey, One Voice, Papa G, Russ. What's that?
You already said hi.
Well, I know, but I'm not saying hi to him. I'm talking to him. John and Sean and everybody, Janet, all of yous, we're all here for a reason. And some of yous are Catholic. Some of you, I have had some amazing talks with Catholic. And what gets me is how it's going to hurt these people. I know how I was hurt. I'm going to turn the clock back. And as I told you, at one time I was the superintendent of Sunday school, or better known as a Sunday school superintendent, deacon, whatever you want to call me. At 17 years old, I had people that I was teaching in my Sunday school class, but I was in charge of everything, a senior in high school. I was teaching kids reading, and I don't like to read, so I made sure they read, but every now and then I had to. RP, good to see you. But I remember when they closed my church down. I went to the Buckingham United Methodist Church, and they closed it down, because we're just a little bitty community. They wanted us to drive 4 miles to a town where I graduated high school, but we was never welcome there. This is the same town that when I wasn't living in Buckingham, I was living on a farm 8-9 miles from Buckingham. I asked a girl out in high school, not once, but twice. And at our 50 reunion, she told me they wouldn't let me go out. My dad was the town policeman. And if I would have went out with you, they was going to fire him, because Hersher girls don't date Buckingham. That's where, see guys, the stuff that we're going through now, it's always been there. Hatred has always been there. But now let's turn the clock ahead to last night. Last night, I thought, and I talked around several times, and whoever I talked to, I told them, I'm trying to just come into this level-headed. I was excited. I wanted to hear him announce the gold back. I wanted to hear him announce that the Doge was coming. I wanted to hear him announce that the quantum financial system was coming. I wanted to hear him announce all of this stuff. I wanted to hear him say, I'm the 19th president of the United States of America. I wanted all of this. And about the only thing I can say that I really got excited about was when he said that the president of the Ukraine called him that morning and said, we got to get back together and get this signed. Why? Because he's put him in a corner. He's put all of these NATO and everybody in a corner, because people who say he doesn't know what he's doing, they don't know what they're doing. It's okay. It's okay for Canada to come over here and charge us unbelievable tariffs. But when we want to go back and do, and I thought one of the greatest things he said last night was when he looked and he says, every country we're just going to go to, and whatever they charge us for tariffs, we're going to charge them. It's only fair. It's only fair. Canada don't send us that much. We send Canada a lot. Do you think Canada would be smart to keep their mouth shut? And if you're a Canadian, I'm sorry. I'm not cutting your thing down, your country down. As a matter of fact, I would like to see them become part of the United States, because you're stronger when you're together. But when you're over here and you got I don't know what it is with leaders in countries where they think they're the greatest people in the world. You was brought in by your people. If you're not doing your job, let's get rid of it. And that's what upsets me the most. All the people we have in the United States. And for so long, we let this rat party do everything they wanted to us. They might as well took us out in the middle of the street and humiliated us by dropping our drawers and spanking our behinds. That's what they've been doing to us for years. When you stop and think about it, and Janet, Russ, Sean's trucking, David, when you think about your parents, at least we're getting the chance to right the wrong. We know about it. We can change not just the United States, guys. There's going to be people that we're involved with. It may not be anybody from this group, but there's going to be people that we know it's going to be in the new history books. Why? Because we're changing the way the world is. Because we have the guts. The baby boomers and people a little bit maybe before a little bit after God chose us to be here. He chose us because he knew we can handle it. Because when you get into other generations under us, that's younger than us, it's all about money. It's all about money. As long as they're making money, they don't care. I listened to a guy complain about such a terrible week he's having. He's going here, he's going there, he's on the road all the time. He's not home with his family. And what is he doing about it? He's complaining instead of looking at his boss and saying, I was not hired to do this. But if he wants the big paycheck, he has to do it. Why? Because the big boss and the big boss's understudies, they don't want to do it no more. So it's past the buck. That's going to change. I was talking to a girl the other day, and she said, I need a job. And I says, we're going to have a lot of jobs opening up soon. Because I really and truthfully thought our hat man was going to do something last night that was going to bring everything. But I'm waiting patiently for these really, really smart people to decipher anything. When I said, I got excited when he said that the president of the Ukraine contacted him and he wants to put an end to it. That was good for me because I contacted the girl when I wrote her that night. And I not only told her, but it was in a message on Facebook. And I was able to copy it and send her it. So she's seen with his picture there, she's seen it. She knows what was done. She was crying like a little kid when she wrote me today because, see, over there, They did talk on the radio today a little bit about why. Or it was another video I watched on here. I don't remember what it was, but I was just searching through things. And they did say the reasons why the other country invaded them. And it's something that we all know. It's something about underground, and it's something about, laundering and, doing laundry, the things like that. And they put a stop to it. They had to put a stop to it. They had to end not just the corrupt government there, but in our country. But as I was getting ready to say, our parents never got the chance we got. My parents were poor when they were born. They were poor when they died. Now, with 3 sons helping them all the time and a daughter on occasions, they had a lot more than a lot of people their age had. We always took care of our mom and dad. But my dad was probably the hardest worker I've ever seen. And I always said, when I got ready to go out into the workforce, because I can remember talking to my guidance counselor, and he's telling me, Ralph, you need to start taking this class, and you need to start taking this class. I said, I don't like them. He said, but you're never going to go to college if you don't. And I said, I'll tell you a secret. His name was Mr. Hangstrom. We called him the Mole. I said, I tell you the secret, Mr. Hangstrom. I can take every one of those classes and 10 more of them. And I ain't never going to college. I'm going to end up as a factory worker. And I did. And you know what? I did it. And I did it a good job. I did it the best I could do. And, I got to work for over 25 years with my brother Ron. I got to work for almost 30 years with my brother Russ. I got to work with my nephew. I got to work with at the time, my best friend. I made so many friends, and it didn't matter the color of skin. We was a family there. And that's why Patriot 5 and Patriot 6, the way we do things, the way we go about business, that reminds me so much of the factory. And I can see when all of this happens. Every year, we used to have dinner parties. We used to have a picnic every year. And I can see us renting a place, someplace centrally located for everybody. And we just throw a 2-day picnic or a 3-day picnic. And then we hope someone will drive us home because we're sobering up. No, at our age, I'd say at our age, but we won't be our age. Here's one for the ages, Russ. Karen, here's one for the ages. Think of this, Karen. How are you going to feel when you get on that bed and you're not what you are now? You're younger. You feel great. Or how's that song go? I feel good. Do. You know what I mean? How are you going to feel when someone looks at you and says, Karen, Act your age, and you look at him and say, I would, but I don't know my age. when the saying comes up, age doesn't matter, it's just a number, that's exactly what it is. Now, none of us may live old enough to collect our Social Security to 360 years old, but some of us might live to be even older. We don't know. Look at what they've done. Think of it here. Golden Arrow and Karen and Sean, Susie Q, Russ, One Voice. Think of this. When you first started becoming a patriot, when you first came into this type of life, did you ever think you would be here discussing what we discuss? I never did. When I came into it, I bought my first currency for Ron and me. Ron gave me $200 and some dollars. And we bought 200 dinar. Because we had been cheated out of an inheritance that would have allowed all of us to pay our houses off, to get a nice car, and to still have six figures in the bank. And that's all we wanted. Retire when it was time and live a good life. Play golf as much as we possibly could. Go fishing, drink beer. That's what we wanted. And we still haven't got it. But with 200,000, it was supposed to go for about $4.50 is what they said. Me and two brothers, 900,000 would have give us. It would have given us $900,000, $300,000 a piece. Hey, you pay a little taxes, you're still going to have 220, 230 probably. Pay your house off, get a car. You still got six figures in the bank. And that's how we thought it would be. Well, then it was just Ron and me that got these. I didn't have the money. I was going through a divorce of you know what, but we're sitting at my brother's house one day, and we're telling him about this. We're going to take care of things. It ain't going to be long, and we're going to have some money. And he explained it to me, and we did. He says, can we get some more? I said, we can. He said, well, is that the only one they got? And I said, no, they got every country. He said, does Vietnam have one? I said, yeah, they have the Vietnamese dong. And he said, I want that. So him and Ron each put, I think, $125 in. And we got a lot. We had 2 million. 2 million. But we got it straight from Vietnam. And it took a while to get there. And since it took a while to get there, they knew it was going to take a while. They threw an extra $500,000 in. So think of Merry Christmas to us when they do it. And you're not going to get contract rate on that. Bruce was talking about that. On the dong, you don't get contract rate. But still, Bruce said tonight, you got your dinar that you're going to get contract rate on. And from what I'm hearing, it's very high. And you have the Zim that is 1-to-1 with the new US dollar. Now, I know you're not going to, if you have $100 trillion note, you're not going to get $100 trillion. But the money's going to be there. You're going to have plenty. But he said everything else, he says, is all up. Everything. He said everything, every currency is up now. And you're going to get an average of between $4 and $5, he said. The currency that Ron and me have, we just got an average of $1 on everyone. Oh, glory days. Oh, happy days. We could help so many people and do so many things. So start planning. Has anybody actually here sit down and planned? Not what they got to do in a humanitarian thing, but things you want to do for you and your family. You don't want to just go out and look at your kids or your grandkids or friends or whatever. You don't want to just go out and say, hey, I want to give you this. But you want to sit down with them and see what they need. And so I think I can help you. And then write them a check. And what they needed to help, the amount they needed, then write it for maybe a little more. And I understand. See, I say this as a person who's been doing this for 5 years on shows, but for the last 18 years. I say, no, it's 2008, 16 years. I say this as that because so many things have changed. That's what we figured. We were going to help people. We didn't know about the R&R. We didn't know about the money that, from the birth certificate said, I got divorced and I go, wow. But now see, look at it on the bright side. I got divorced, but I'm going to get paid on my marriage license and my divorce license. Where you people who are still married, you're just going to get paid on one. And the great thing about it is they're going to pay her too, which, I'm not so happy about that. I could care less how much money she gets. No, the whole bottom line is even if she wasn't going to get anything, I had told my daughter I'd give her some extra so she can help her mom out. Even though I'm not going to go there. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about last night because I want to bring some things up. I copied some things and sent them over. But I always thought we was in a situation where when push come to shove, our country would stay together. Our country was built on unity. We got tired of being bullied. And it was built on that. But the greed of one side. And when I say one side, there is people on the other side too that are bad. And there's probably a lot of good on the bad side. But here's a picture of a little blonde. They didn't clap. Athlete injured by trans opponent. Slams. Dems behavior towards guest honored by the hat's address. Former volleyball player Peyton McNabb described how liberals' silence spoke volumes. The Democratic Party was so disrespectful, it was heartbreaking, and honestly, I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. Peyton McNabb. A very, very good, very great women's volleyball player. Career ended because someone who declared himself a woman was so strong, he literally ended her career. But yet, that other party, that she just said, wouldn't even stand and applaud her. They never stood once. And name me a president. People get on things about our president's just in it for him. Name me a president that has ever looked at the people and said, hey, for one night, just one night, I know you hate me. I know you hate my policy. I know all of this. But for one night tonight, can we come together as a solidarity group? Can we come together? And they looked like they was what are them things in the windows of a store that they dress up in at mannequins. They all looked like they was mannequins. None of them moved. None of them. Here's one. It's childish. Republican lawmaker Eric Schmidt lets his colleagues from across the aisle have it after they refused to stand for a 13-year-old boy battling brain cancer while he was named an honorary Secret Service member. This young man, his dream is to be working in the Secret Service his whole life. He was dressed. He literally. It says here, I think that the Democrats really embarrass themselves. I mean, they wouldn't even stand up for DJ who survived cancer. I mean, it's childish. And it is. Now, as we move forward, remember what I said? Remember what I said? I was expecting a lot more. Right then and there. When he almost back to back talked about the volleyball player and give her recognition, and talked about the young man, of which that young man got to go to the White House today into the Oval Office with his dad, and I think it was his sister. I don't know if his mom was there, but there was 3 of them that I seen. Got to go in and shake hand with our president. Tell me any other president that's done that. Now, and I'm going to tell you a story about presidents. Because, see, when we get all of this prejudice stuff, it's always that we're prejudiced. The white people are prejudiced. But we go way back to when my son was in junior college. And he became the president of an organization there. I can't remember the name of it. It's called, it's these organizations that all these preppies get. He becomes a president, and his best friend in college at that time becomes a vice president. They go to Kankakee Community College in Peoria a few months later after it was announced. They're having a big event for all the chapters in all the junior colleges. My son is invited, so is the vice president, because of their standings in their school. It was the year that the one man was running for president. I think his name was Barack something. I don't remember his last name. But this Barack man, he's running. He's there. He's got his entourage, and he's got his husband. I'm his wife. I crack myself up sometimes. But anyway, he's got them there. And my son and this other guy looked and said, "Hey, Mr. Barack, would you take a picture with us?" And they introduced themselves, who they were. And he said, "Sure. I love to promote things like this." So my son got on one side and the other kid got on the other. And all of a sudden there was 2 black kids, same age as my son. One girl, one guy. And they're walking by holding hands. Teenagers in love. And this soon-to-be president looks and said, "Hey, would you 2 like to be in the picture?" "Well, yeah, sure, that would be great." He pushes my son aside. He pushes the other guy aside. He brings them 2 in, puts his arm around them, and they snap the picture. To say I was upset is an understatement. To say I never liked the guy before then, but my son was about ready to get his picture taken with a man who was pretty much a shoo-in at that point to be the president of the United States of America. So for him, I was very happy, especially since I think he's a rat too. But anyway, I walked up to the kids and I said, "Great picture." Not my kids, not my son and the other kid, his friend, but the 2. And I says, "So what junior college do you go to?" "Oh, we don't go to junior college. We're just here with our family. Our brother's involved in this." They wasn't even part of the actual ceremony, the celebration, but yet he pushed my son and this other guy aside. You understand why I don't like this man? But that's what it is. This is one that really upset me. And I want to talk about this for a second here, guys, because see, if you notice on the one side of the floor, the side of the floor where the gentleman got kicked out, myself personally, I was disappointed when he got kicked out. Not that he got kicked out, but the way he reacted, he should have been handcuffed and escorted out. But if you notice, they was wearing pink in solidarity. Truthfully, all of them on that side should have been wearing black and white stripes. Here's the one guy on that side that's holding a sign, "I voted against women." Ballsy move as he's sitting right behind 3 women. But, if they are. Here's another guy who's got a sign, America Last. Right then and there, they should have got that man and put him on the next ship out of our country. Here's a lady, I love war. Then go fight in it. There's one over there in the Ukraine. Go over there and fight in it. Here's a guy with a pink tie. Illegals first. A lady in a pink blazer. I steal from taxpayers. Here's another lady who you can see, she's probably an American, but she's a foreign American. I don't care what a woman is. I made a statement to someone today. I said, I have a daughter and I have 3 granddaughters. And I've done this. I mean, I've literally opened the door of a woman's bathroom and I said, is anybody in there? And the lady says, there's a couple of us. And I said, well, I'm going to send my granddaughter in. And if she's not out in 2 minutes, you're not going to want me to come in there. And they're, huh? Your daughter. No, I was sending my granddaughter in at this particular time. The time I sent my daughter in was a long time ago. And I said, and if there's a woman in there that's declaring herself to be a woman and she's not, and you stand next to her to pee, I'll go to jail the rest of my life. I was probably the most overprotective father there was. But, you know, both of my kids are raised, and my grandkids so far are doing pretty good too. But the things I just read you are things that was happening there last night. Now, I'm going to read Judy here in a few minutes. I've talked about Bruce. But I'm going to read Judy here in a few minutes. But there was one thing I wanted to. Oh, here was something I just put together. I seen Rosemary posted this on Facebook. Imagine being mad at 2 guys who don't take a salary for exposing the people who steal your hard-earned money while taking a salary. If you can't stand up and applaud a little kid who survived 11 brain cancer surgeries, you're a whole different level of the word, what you said on whole. This comes from Ariel. Gee, it's almost like I have been telling people that the revaluation of the Iraq dinar is for the new republic that basically starts on March 4th with an address from the president on that day, with Kurdistan and Baghdad signing remaining paperwork and resuming oil exports through SOMO, all in capital letters. Why, out of all these years, have you been waiting that they decided to have this meeting on the exact day of the original inauguration day? Why do you think the hat is closing hundreds of IRS offices? Because he doesn't want your capital gains going toward an agency that will exist after 2020, that will not exist after 2025. I told you all, and I will say it again, the hat is going to put his foot down on March 4th. Here's a saying from one of my favorite people in the world that I never believed was gone, but they say he is. One person can make a difference, and everyone should try. John F. Kennedy. Here's something from our president. I work only one special interest group, the American people. A country run by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. A nation run by media will never know the truth. And before I go into Judy and talk about her, I have to talk about what happened on media last night. I kind of wish Ron would have recorded it so I could have played it to you, because I totally lost it. For some reason, we decided to watch everything last night on CBS News. And the three people they had on there, oh, they were rats. They were true to the form, damn rats. The things they said was stupid, unmeaningful, and ignorant. But then it got even worse, because after the speech was over and they give their 2 cents worth, which 2 cents, you should have been able to get $100 change back from that 2 cents, because it meant absolutely nothing. They had nothing that they said that was worthwhile of anything that he said. They even put him down for asking both sides to come together as one for one night. For one night. He didn't say the other 364. He mocked these people. He made fun of these people in a very, very professional way. But then they let the Democrats have a speaker on TV. And she got to discuss her feelings about his speech. You could tell when she was lying. The easiest way to tell when she was lying, her lips were moving. If she was speaking, she was lying. She never said one thing in that whole thing except that she was a Democrat. That was the truth. She tried to pick his speech apart, and everything she said, oh my goodness. It's his fault for this. It's his fault for that. It's his fault for everything else. Why is he worrying about these tariffs? Keep taxing the people. Keep taxing the American people when we can maybe get away from that. See, because what happens when there's no more taxes? What are these people going to do when their slush fund money is no longer available? What are they going to do? Well, we know what they're going to do. Remember, I mentioned once before about black and white striped shirts. That might be what's going to do. But I was, and I even looked at myself once. I talked to myself and I said, why am I yelling like this? I was screaming. I wouldn't even let Ron get a nap at this lady. I mean, she was the, I'm not going to say it, because the way people are saying, you say the wrong thing and you never know what's going to happen. So this is Restored Republic today. I don't know about the reading. I'm going to go through some of it. I'm sure I've covered a lot of it already. But guys, get the Restored Republic. It's out there all over the place. It's on our Telegram. It's in Messenger. It's on Rumble. Make sure you listen to it today. It's really, really good. Restored Republic as of the 5th of March, 2025. Let's see. Pray for the children. Wow. What we think of, we know as of March 2025, the Hatton and ELON DOJ audits have uncovered that for decades the deep state party cartel has laundered trillions of U.S. taxpayer dollars through USAID, FEMA, USDA, globalists, and many, many more. The puppet The guy that was president, the puppet, is breaking down. The files from the guy that has that island still remain hidden. And when I'm hearing, guys, I don't know if they'll ever be shown. I don't think that the public could actually take. I'm serious. I don't think if you come out with the ones that have come out is going to crush so many people. And there's one out there, and I'm not going to mention her name, but there's one out there that Ron has told me several times might be the devil's daughter. If that comes out, it's going to crush so many. If this particular woman is bad, they might allow her to keep her legacy, but, leave the country. Soon the free quantum base phone, Q phone used for internet connectivity, texting, calling, banking, voting, and more will be delivered to everyone in the world. QFS on Telegram. The deep state globalist cabal owned BlackRock, and that's what they're, that's how they've made all their money through all that, all these years. Global currency reset as of March 2nd, 2025. Ariel, the revaluation of the Iraq dinar is for the new republic that basically begins on Tuesday the 4th. That being implemented, Bruce said that we could have got our 800 numbers today. But I do want to talk one thing about Bruce here, guys, and that's the fact that if you did not get a message from Bruce, if you went in and put your email address in and you did not get a message from him telling you that he was changing the time of last night's show up an hour, go back in and put your email back in there. Because what happens, you might have went in 5 months ago. You put your email in there and you started receiving messages. But if you never opened one of these messages and it goes 3 months, they delete you. They figure you're no longer involved or you're not interested, and they delete you. I found mine in a different box other than my inbox, but I did get it. Ron got his, and I know Diane with 2 N's got hers. The Big N, Big G won't start to occur until this coming weekend. Bondholders will get notification supposedly today. Tier 4B notifications could come out sometime the 5th. R&R deposits should be in your account this month. The DOG e-checks could come out the first 10 days of March. Social Security increases should happen this month of March. Now, something that has been discussed, and I'm going to discuss this real quickly and then say a prayer and get out of here, is if you see a person that's homeless, after you get the money, you might want to put something together or contact a local authority, not to turn this homeless person in, but if you contact like a police officer or some kind of security, they should take this homeless person to the right place so they can get an address or something where they can get their money distributed. But see, this is going to be a major task, because if a homeless person doesn't have a phone, if a homeless person doesn't have all this other stuff, it's going to be real hard to get him to understand. And they may think if a police officer comes and says, hey, we're going to take you here, we got a surprise for you. They may think they're taking him to jail. But we have to figure a way out how we can get the message across. Because Janet and Susie Q, One Voice, John, it doesn't matter how much we get. If we're not helping everyone, we're still not succeeding. We're no better than the people that stole from us if we're not going to continue to try to help. But some of these homeless people are very dangerous, so we have to be cautious and careful. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, thank you for bringing us together. Lord, thank you for bringing us as a family. For 5 years, we've been together, Lord. And who knows, maybe we'll be together 5 more years, 10 more years, or 100 more years, but in different capacities. We've developed friendships and love, not only through children, but grown-ups here. Love that has brought people to this point because their families, Lord, didn't believe in them. So we created a new family, a loving family here. And we pray to you, Lord, that you look after each and every one of us, take care of each and every one of us, as we pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone.